greatness that night. It's about the fight. It ain't about the champion. It's about the fight. That's all I care about, the fight.
What Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table, and he says that Lamont Roach is...
I don't know if Lamont Roach exposed weaknesses of Tank Davis.
During the rematch press conference, Gervonta Davis's coach Calvin Ford snapped back at Lamont, asserting, "It's over, and they will see who the real champion is in the fight." Calvin's confident and aggressive stance made it clear that he firmly believes in Gervonta's victory and dominance inside the ring.
And sit there and say to themselves like they came from a karate movie, man, I want to fight just like Tank. I want to be just like Tank.
Gervonta Davis is approaching his upcoming rematch with complete focus and dedication. Recognizing the importance of this fight for his career and reputation, he has left no stone unturned in his training regimen. Every session is meticulously planned to enhance his physical conditioning and sharpen his technical skills. This time, Davis is determined to avoid previous mistakes and enter the ring as a more prepared and formidable opponent. His team is taking no chances, fully aware that this bout is crucial for reestablishing his dominance in the sport.
One of the best trainers in boxing, second guy in the corner, is responsible for a lot of the real tactical decisions and tactical analysis that goes on in Gervonta Davis's corner. So you have Coach Calvin, and Coach Calvin is the head trainer, and you have Coach Kenny, who really specializes on preparing game plans specifically for opponents. So to have him talk about what's going on with Lamont Roach, I thought was interesting and insightful, because what he said was that, one, he's not falling for the okie doke. When Mill City asked him, hey, what do you think about the fact that, that Lamont Roach was seen at a basketball game chugging a beer? And I would have added to the question that you see Lamont Roach out giving a bunch of interviews, doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not following.
The reunion with Coach Calvin Ford has revitalized Davis's training environment. Their long-standing relationship is founded on trust, respect, and a deep understanding of Davis's style and mindset. Calvin Ford has been instrumental throughout Davis's rise in boxing, molding his natural ability into a refined, aggressive, and tactical fighting style. This renewed partnership brings a mix of emotional motivation and strategic sharpness, fueling Davis's confidence and ensuring that every element of his preparation aligns with his championship ambitions.
Match, do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table, and he says that Lamont Roach is, we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all of that. He says what most people say, hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to, that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing. And the fight is going to be similar, but hey, the fight at the same time is going to be very different. Now, I just happen to have a very good friend named Phoenix the Assassin who breaks down fights for me. He's a trainer, got a world-class eye for fights. And what he speculated should be the difference between the first fight and the second fight for Gervonta is that Gervonta is going to need to spend a lot more time fighting on the outside and scoring points for a longer period of time on the outside, and then making sure that, and basically forcing
For Davis, the rematch signifies more than just a competition. It is a chance to reclaim his reputation and silence the critics who questioned his abilities following the first fight. That initial bout raised concerns about his standing, making the Upcoming match a defining moment in his career. A decisive win would re-establish Davis as a leading figure in boxing and prove that the previous outcome was an anomaly rather than a true reflection of his skill. This fight carries deep personal and professional meaning for Tank.
Lamont Roach, he feels that he won. Like, do you think the best thing going forward, they should just run it back, have a rematch?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think a rematch is definitely called for. And I think probably, the sooner the better. So I would say, hey, let's work on a deal to where we could get in there within the next 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, I agree there.
During their first meeting, Davis displayed vulnerabilities that were not evident in his prior bouts. His defense lacked its usual sharpness, and his stamina began to fade as the rounds advanced. Opponent Lamont Roach capitalized on these weaknesses, landing significant shots that disrupted Davis's rhythm and eroded his confidence. These shortcomings were noted by both fans and analysts, indicating that Davis was not performing at his full potential. The rematch provides Davis the opportunity to correct these flaws and demonstrate his true capabilities.
I don't know if Lamont Roach exposed weaknesses of Tank Davis. It very much reminds me of Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia. What Roach did, Rolly was doing the same thing. He ended up implementing it better against Ryan Garcia. Tank was having huge issues, and that's the Black Two Sugars. Watch me call that fight. I started laughing. I couldn't believe it because all he was patient with good power. All Roach was patient. He stayed focused. That's why him drinking and partying and shit is messing with me, because he beat him here. He stayed so damn focused, and he knew when Tank was going to punch. He knew when not to punch, and when he countered Tank, he rocked Tank.
After the fight, Davis was open about the mental and emotional struggles he had faced. He admitted that the pressure and exhaustion affected his concentration and overall performance. The experience took a toll on his mental state, forcing him to confront the possibility of stepping away from boxing. His willingness to seek therapy emphasized the severity of his internal battle and revealed that the fight's consequences extended beyond physical results. This vulnerability offered insight into the complex realities of a boxer's life beyond the ring.
He wants to do therapy. He wants to do real estate. They want to say he wasn't all in because him and Roach are friends, and he's going to be focused for the second fight. A lot of excuses. They want to say it's because of the braids, the oil getting in his eye, whatever. This is what really happened. And I just now came to this conclusion because I've been making some other videos for Patreon, but Lamont Roach posted a video recently on
In preparation for the rematch, Davis's training atmosphere has undergone a complete transformation. Every drill and sparring session is now executed with heightened intensity and precision. His footwork has significantly improved, showing greater fluidity, and balance reaction times have sharpened, enabling Davis to anticipate and counter his opponent more effectively. The previously relaxed casual approach has been replaced with focused discipline, underscoring that Davis is treating this fight as a pivotal challenge that demands total commitment.
Stop colding up, gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
The stakes in this bout go far beyond titles or rankings. The initial draw bruised Davis's pride and cast doubts on his legacy within the boxing world. This personal setback has ignited a powerful desire for redemption and validation. Davis is now driven by the need to prove his worth and reclaim his position among the elite. The rematch is a battle for respect, identity, and honor, making it a highly emotional and intense encounter powered by personal conviction.
We gotta talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe to toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, Whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haneys, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. There was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at that and be like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims on all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
Davis's camp had entered the first fight with a detailed understanding of Roach's strengths and tactics. Their initial game plan was carefully crafted to exploit perceived weaknesses in Roach's style. Although the strategy was sound in theory, its execution faltered during the bout. Rather than discarding their approach, Davis's team is now focused on refining and perfecting the original plan. They are emphasizing sharper execution, tactical discipline, and increased pressure at key moments to maximize their chance of success.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. It's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity. You know?
What's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to turn, hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily. You just got to put the icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Just hit the gears a little harder. That's all. He hit the gears hard enough the last time, but boxing is a dirty game. It's a dirty game. You got biased people, unfair people. Anybody saw that first fight that Jalil lost, they don't know boxing.
If Jalil is successful in this fight, what do you guys expect for Jalil? And then, obviously Eddie Hearn had a lot to say when Jalil took that loss.
Teofimo Lopez offered his perspective on the aftermath of the controversial first fight. He noted that Davis was left isolated after the bout, with many in the boxing community quick to criticize and question his status. Lopez pointed out how this atmosphere of skepticism and judgment could negatively affect a fighter's confidence and public image. His comments highlight the immense pressure surrounding the rematch as Davis seeks not only to win, but to restore his reputation among his peers and fans alike.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're going to be there. But they waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We're not we have to learn how to care about other people.
The rematch holds critical importance for both fighters. It is a chance to resolve lingering questions and solidify their respective places in the sport. Avoiding this fight could leave unresolved doubts and potentially damage both legacies, Davis and Roach both understand that this bout will be heavily scrutinized and remembered, making it vital for each to deliver a peak performance. This mutual awareness adds a fierce competitive edge to their preparation and mindset heading into the ring.
Shout out to my man Lamont.
All right, so you sparred Lamont Roach in preparation for his bout with Gervonta Davis. First, what did you think of the fight?
What did I think of the fight? It's a little different for me because it's definitely a point of bias there.
Wait, let me put out a disclaimer. He's from Baltimore.
Definitely, I mean, he's Baltimore all day. But I'm looking at it from a point of bias because his dad, you know, Ben Johnson Sr. and all them guys that was down there, coaches Tim and everything like that, they all good people. So I got to know them on a more personal level. And then I get to see like how hard a world champion works, and not only that, to see how he treated his people. So I was going for him just off of personality alone, but everything else, he made me believe in Kent for real, because me and him like have similar personalities. Know what I mean, as far as the ring, you know what I mean. So everything we was ready for, like the talking shit and everything like that, because that was coming from me. You know what I'm saying, me and Lamont. So everything was just everything for real. But everything else, he made me believe in Kent for real, because me and him like have similar personalities. Know what I mean, as far as the ring, you know what I mean. So everything we was ready for, like the talking shit and everything like that, because that was coming from me. You know what I'm saying, me and Lamont. So everything was just everything for real. I think he should have won too. You know what I'm saying. But actually, when I was there, I thought they actually was gonna like rob him. You know what I mean, but. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't deceive the people that's there for what they saying for real.
So you felt like he should have got the nod in the
Absolutely.
decision.
Especially with all the other controversy too. It should have been overturned, but we know how boxing works, but nah, I mean, we running it back for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Did that teach you a lesson though?
Absolutely, you know what I mean? But you gotta just do, it seemed like, cause I feel like he did, not only did he shock the world, it's like, I guess you just gotta do more on top of that. Like, you just gotta do more, I guess.
Roach's performance in the initial fight impressed many with his tactical intelligence and poise. He proved capable of competing at the highest level, effectively matching Davis's speed and power. His strategic approach kept Davis on the defensive, at times earning Roach respect as a legitimate contender. Heading into the rematch, Roach has the opportunity to build on that performance by refining his speed, increasing his precision, and maintaining mental focus to secure a clear and undisputed victory.
Tank became a ballsy fighter, which he's never been, according to everybody in the DC and Maryland area. You know, like,
but there were
now it's all coming out. It's all coming out. It's already been known before, but we never got to see it because nobody pushed Tank.
There were points early in that fight. I thought Tank was out hustling Lamont. He was, Lamont wasn't taking charge early on, and Gervonta, who's normally stepping to him, but he was getting hit with straight left hands and getting turned and getting hit with straight left. His nose and mouth were red.
But that's the thing with Tank does what Teddy Atlas yelled at Michael Moore about. Tank wants to be able to hit you and hope you leave him alone. And when you don't do that, he starts to fade and fold.
Okay.
That's not championship caliber mentality.
We're talking about two guys who weren't big punchers. Okay, 12 rounds, I can hit you and make you miss, and hit you and make you miss, and hit you.
But I can keep the game plan. You can keep the game plan.
So what if Gervonta goes out there and shows his boxing skills?
Let's compare it to, say, a Tommy Morrison, who used to blow you away, but if he couldn't, he was gone. He was gassed out after a few rounds. There's a mentality where...
But Tank's not that guy we saw against Isaac Cruz. He was able...
Okay, even Isaac Cruz, looking back now, even Valenzuela outboxed Isaac Cruz.
Okay,
dude.
but
I mean, come on.
But did he do it?
Apply the trade. Listen, it happens.
Well,
Hazard of the trade.
Exactly.
Your hands are going to be
we don't know
Did he get
extent
surgery
of the
after the
injury.
Isaac Cruz fight? No.
I don't know. Maybe. I had a ton of surgeries. I had a ton of surgeries that the public knew nothing about. So I don't know.
I mean, they kind of know.
So
Paulie, you can see where you can see hand surgery scars. You see my scars? My hand, I got a tic-tac-toe board all over my hand. When you get surgery, you can see that.
But Paulie, his argument, and you guys are on different sides of it in a different way, where he says tactically there's more to add to Gervonta. Gervonta could have done things that he didn't do.
Physically, there's a lot he's capable
You
of.
see it mentally. Yes. Is that harder to deal with?
I believe so, because physically, Gervonta has all the goods. That's why he's sold as the product he sold at. You look at Gervonta physically: speed, athleticism, power, timing,
ability to change directions.
If this guy has balls, he's really a pound-for-pound fighter that everybody claims he is. But because he doesn't have balls, I don't know that he's even a pound-for-pound fighter. I don't even know that he would be a lightweight champion if they didn't mix and match his opponents accordingly. You know what I'm saying? He probably shouldn't even be a lightweight champion now because Lamont Roach beat him the other week.
I got a great saying. So you always say, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah.
Shakur Stevenson, who has previously sparred with Roach, provided insightful analysis of Roach's abilities and strategy. Stevenson praised Roach's defensive acumen, highlighting how well it neutralized Davis's offensive strengths. His endorsement of Roach as a serious contender lends credibility to Roach's chances in the rematch. Stevenson's confidence in Roach underscores the competitiveness of the bout and suggests that Davis will face a well-prepared, technically adept adversary. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.